Yuki Tsunoda endured a disastrous weekend at Imola, one that both he and the Red Bull family would surely prefer to erase from memory. Following a dramatic and costly crash during qualifying, the financial toll to repair the RB21 has skyrocketed, putting the spotlight once again on the Japanese driver. Ever since Tsunoda was handed the opportunity to race in this machinery, the pressure has only intensified. And weekends like this, marred by error and expensive consequences, only add more weight to his already fragile situation. With Max Verstappen now fully back in the fight for the Drivers' Championship, the stakes for Red Bull couldn't be higher. Every strategic decision counts, and Tsunoda's reliability is beginning to look like a liability. The question is no longer whether the team might consider making a change, but when. And perhaps more crucially, who would be the ideal candidate to take his place? There's no denying the scale of the damage inflicted. Tsunoda's qualifying incident during the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix weekend forced the team into crisis mode. Although he managed to salvage a single championship point by finishing in 10th place, that result did little to offset the operational nightmare he created. The crash compromised Red Bull's entire race plan, triggering an emergency rebuild of his car that included fitting a new chassis. To make matters worse, the team had to assemble it using components with mismatched specifications, a direct breach of park firm regulations. As a result, Tsunoda was relegated to start the Grand Prix from the pit lane. In addition to the chassis overhaul, a completely fresh power unit was installed. This included a new internal combustion engine, turbocharger, MGU-H, MGU-K, battery pack, control electronics, and a new exhaust, all of which count toward his seasonal allocation. Even though these replacements fell within the legal limit, they symbolized yet another unplanned disruption for the Austrian team. Helmut Marko did not mince words in the aftermath. He publicly acknowledged that the team finds itself in a precarious position following the events at Imola. Tsunoda's crash, beyond the financial repercussions, has potentially shaken the team's confidence in his ability to perform under pressure. And with Red Bull needing absolute precision to support Verstappen's title campaign, patience is wearing thin. Whether Tsunoda can recover and secure his future with the team remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: if Red Bull is forced to act swiftly, they will. And in a paddock filled with young talent and experienced free agents alike, the clock might already be ticking on Yuki's time in the cockpit. Even though everyone breathed a collective sigh of relief when Yuki Tsunoda emerged unscathed, not even a scratch on his body despite the dramatic crash, the truth is, Red Bull now faces the aftermath. The wreckage may have been cleared from the track, but the consequences remain very real for the team, both financially and strategically. Delving into the mounting challenges facing Red Bull, Helmut Marko didn't shy away from painting a grim picture of the current situation. Thankfully, Yuki is okay, that's the most important thing, he stated. But make no mistake, this is a significant setback. It's now 3 races in a row that we've been hit. And with Monaco coming up, a track that punishes even the smallest mistake, the pressure is only increasing. The situation regarding spare parts is becoming dangerously tight. We need to make sure Tsunoda feels secure and supported, and we intend to do just that. Now, let's be honest. Most people's first thought was simple: thank God the driver is safe. And that's absolutely valid. Because let's not forget, if this kind of crash had taken place a few years ago, before the introduction of the halo, the outcome could have been very different. Technology saved Tsunoda from physical harm. But it didn't save Red Bull from the bill. Now that the smoke has cleared, the accounting begins. And the numbers don't look good. The repair costs from this incident are substantial, and they're arriving at a time when the team desperately needs every available resource to keep Max Verstappen in the title hunt. Instead of channeling funds into critical updates for Verstappen's car, the budget is being drained by unexpected damages. The timing couldn't be worse. The championship battle is intensifying. Verstappen clawed back 10 points from Piastri's lead and reduced the gap to Norris in second place by 7. Every race counts. Every upgrade could make the difference. But when resources are being redirected toward rebuilding a teammate's wrecked car, the team's broader ambitions are put in jeopardy. This also adds an enormous psychological burden on Tsunoda himself. When a driver is under pressure, one of two things usually happens. Either they rise to the occasion and transform into something brilliant, or they crumble under the weight. Sadly, right now, it looks like Yuki is leaning toward the latter. The spotlight on him is getting brighter. His errors are no longer minor hiccups, they're becoming liabilities that ripple through the whole Red Bull structure. And while the team is publicly vowing to support him, it's clear that patience, resources, and margin for error are running out. In Formula One, survival isn't just about raw speed. It's about consistency, awareness, and knowing how to protect the team's future as well as your own. Tsunoda has talent. No one questions that. But talent alone might not be enough if he keeps steering himself into walls, both literal and metaphorical, while the team is fighting tooth and nail for championships. After the crash in Jeddah, the disaster at Imola has only fueled speculation about Yuki Tsunoda's uncertain future with Red Bull. And let's be clear, no one is more aware of that than Yuki himself. That's what makes this situation so tense. The fear that, for the third time in recent years, Red Bull might opt to swap drivers mid-season. It's no secret that the team is already facing a heavy financial hit, having to deduct a significant chunk from their 2026 budget cap to cover damage repairs rather than invest in crucial upgrades. And that hurts. We've seen it even with other teams like Alpine. The second driver isn't expected to win the championship, but they are expected to bring the car home, score points consistently, and not add to the team's headaches. And right now, Tsunoda is failing to meet even that basic expectation. The Japanese driver, once heralded as a firecracker of potential and raw speed, seems to be cracking under pressure. While fierce young talents like Isack Hadjar, and especially Arvid Lindblad, wait in the wings, Tsunoda finds himself exposed. After the incident, Yuki admitted full responsibility, confessing, "It was a stupid mistake to push that hard without understanding the car fully. We had made a lot of changes, and I was reckless trying to go flat out from the very start." But honesty doesn't erase the consequences. His crash left a mark, not just on the RB21 chassis, but on Red Bull's strategy for the Constructors' Championship. And when F1 analysts like Jacques Villeneuve start weighing in, you know it's serious. Villeneuve didn't hold back when he said Tsunoda is now under more scrutiny than ever, not only because of his own flawed performances, but because Red Bull has a new wave of promising talent eager to take his place. Hadjar, for instance, showcased remarkable composure and consistency throughout the same race, even finishing ahead of Tsunoda and picking up 2 critical points. Sure, the timing of the virtual safety car and the full safety car helped, but ultimately, it's about being in the right place to seize those opportunities. Tsunoda, meanwhile, only managed to crawl back into the points thanks to that very same safety car. His comeback from the pit lane to P10 may sound impressive on paper, but it doesn't paint a full picture of his tenure at Red Bull. Hadjar is doing exactly what Tsunoda once did at the sister team, proving his worth through consistent performances. And to make things even more uncomfortable for Yuki, the French rookie is also outperforming Liam Lawson, who was once considered next in line for a Red Bull seat. After a rocky start to the season, Hadjar found his rhythm quickly. He's showing not just speed, but maturity, tire management, and calm under pressure, all things Red Bull values deeply. Thanks to Hadjar's emergence, the Bulls might now have a renewed hope in the Constructors' Championship, and with millions of dollars on the line, that matters a lot more than sentimental loyalty. And while Helmut Marko has publicly stated that Tsunoda's seat should be safe until the end of the season, performances like these, especially when Yuki finishes miles behind Verstappen and fails to defend him when it matters most, do nothing to back that claim. For example, Tsunoda was explicitly asked to hold off Oscar Piastri during the race. But despite knowing he was running older tires, the ease with which Piastri passed him was telling. Let's be honest, if Sergio Perez had been in that car, he would have made the McLaren driver work for it. That moment alone reflected Tsunoda's inability to perform under pressure. And while no one expects him to sacrifice his race, the reality is, as Red Bull's second driver, Part of the job is playing defense for Verstappen. And Yuki failed to deliver. To make matters worse, Helmut Marko recently described Hadjar as the revelation of the season. He praised the young Frenchman's rise during this first part of the 2025 calendar, highlighting his ability to stay competitive on unfamiliar circuits and his tendency to make very few mistakes. Except for a single error in Australia, Hadjar has been clocking consistent lap times, managing his tires efficiently, and showing remarkable emotional control, rare traits for a rookie. The future at Red Bull is more uncertain than ever. Even Verstappen's long-term commitment to the team is under question. But one thing seems inevitable. Arvid Lindblad will get his chance in Formula One sooner rather than later. And if that happens, someone has to step aside. Right now, the general assumption is that Liam Lawson may be the odd man out. But if Tsunoda keeps making costly mistakes, that assumption might flip. Imagine this: Yuki crashes again. Hadjar is promoted to the main Red Bull team. Lindblad takes over at Racing Bulls. And suddenly, Lawson survives the cut, simply because someone else fell harder. It's a scenario that seemed far-fetched a few months ago, but now? Not so much. In this high-stakes environment, the last thing Red Bull needs is to be handicapped by a driver whose errors are draining resources and costing points. That's why giving opportunities to younger, hungrier drivers makes more sense than recycling one who's been in the system for half a decade. Let's not forget the elephant in the room: Yuki's ties to Honda. Despite his denials, it's evident that his career in Formula One is still standing largely thanks to the support of the Honda Driver Academy and their partnership with Red Bull. Without it, would he still be on the grid? It's hard to say. And even his performance in Jeddah raised eyebrows. Sure, the crash on the opening lap with Pierre Gasly limited his chances to showcase speed, but it was another incident, another repair bill, and another missed opportunity to prove he belongs. While the chaos at Imola might have been more dramatic, the issues in Saudi Arabia were no less critical. And they compound the larger issue: Tsunoda's trajectory is not upward. With everything going on, it's fair to ask, is Yuki's time at Red Bull nearing its end? And perhaps the more urgent question, should the team already be preparing to replace him? Let us know what you think in the comments, and when you're done, don't forget to click the video currently on your screen.